Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Roxanne and this is a makeup tutorial. So like I told you guys in the last makeup tutorial, I have two signature looks. The first one involves foundation, the second one doesn't. That's pretty much the biggest difference. This one is a little bit more toned down and for everyday wear, but we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. We don't need to do too much more talking. Hey friends, let's go ahead and get started. I always start off with my brows every single time. I'm using the Absolute New York Super Slim Brow Pencil in the color Smoke. I really only outline the top part of my brow and then fill in the rest because I'm going to clean up that bottom part with the concealer anyway. I use the E.L.F. brow laminating gel to get my brows to stay in place. I use the spoolie to get it all the way through, and then the other end has a brush and a comb, and I use that to like mold and shape them up. I used the Fenty Invisimatte powder to set my brows. I bought it as just a setting powder, but I'm not really fond of it, so I use it for this and it works just fine. For moisturizer, I use the E.L.F. Holy Hydration Gel-Yea moisturizer. It has like a jelly consistency. It's really cooling and hydrating. I love it. I've been using it forever. I use two different primers. The first one is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I place that mostly in my T-zone. It's for minimizing pores and helping with texture. Then I use the E.L.F. Power Grip Primer. I think it's a really good dupe for Milk's Hydro Grip Primer. This primer gets tacky, which helps your makeup stay in place. To carve out my brows, I use the Haus Labs Concealer in the shade 40. It's just about my skin tone, maybe like half a shade lighter. And then I blend that out with a small concealer brush. This is my attempt at making them twins, but we all know they're sisters. I've accepted it, you've accepted it, but we still gotta try. I forgot to do this earlier, but it's never too late to put on some chapstick. Now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Skin Tint in shade 12. This is really a holy grail statement product in my opinion. It's super lightweight, also very hydrating, and it's perfect for an everyday look. I blend that out with a super dense brush, and then if you see me talking on here, it's because when I'm recording this video, I'm actually on live on TikTok. They keep me company when I'm doing my makeup. If you don't already follow me on TikTok, you definitely should, and come join in on the lives. We really be in there having a good time. It's fun. For concealer, I'm using the Fenty We're Even Hydrating Concealer in the shade 360W. And here is my placement. I like to let my concealer dry down before I blend it out, so here I am going in with my LYS bronzing stick in the shade Courage. And here is my placement. I also use this bronzer to carve out my nose. I already don't prefer a super defined nose as it is, but especially not on an everyday look. So instead of bringing my contour straight down the bridge of my nose, I actually curve it to kind of go outside my nostrils. I feel like this is better for me when I'm going casual because it's less defined and makes it look more natural. After placing the line, I like to just go in and start blending it out. Next, I take the Sachu Beauty Liquid Stain in the shade 6. I think it's Toasty Glaze. And I place that on top of the bronzer I already placed on the perimeter of my face. This just gives the bronzer a more like bronzy look. It adds some shine, kind of like a new penny. R.I.P. new pennies. I use a couple sprays of setting spray before I start blending out my concealer. I'm using the waterproof spray from Tirtir. And I use a powder puff to blend out my concealer. This step is mostly about me getting the concealer blended out and put where I want it, but it doesn't have to be perfect right now. When I'm blending it out, I do also bring the concealer up to my eyelid as well. Sometimes I'll stop right here, but sometimes I do want a bit brighter under eye, so then I'll go in with the Danessa Myricks concealer in shade 6. Now I'm using this brush that doesn't have any added product on it to do all of the blending. I'm focusing on any area where two different makeup products touch and making sure that there are no harsh lines and that everything is blended seamlessly. This is my favorite part right here. Watching the line disappear like behind my eyebrow is my favorite part. Here is a closer look at how it looks after we've blended out all of that concealer. I blend out my lighter concealer with a different powder puff. And I'm repeating the process from before with blending out any areas where two or more products meet. Now it's time for powder. First, I'm making sure that my under eye is smooth and that I'm not setting any creases. And then I go in with the Danessa Myricks Evolution powder in the shade Pink. And I'm going to place that everywhere that I put concealer. Now I'm using the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Silky Finishing Powder in the shade Warm Honey. I place this all over my face, focusing on areas that still have the skin tint on top. I really don't know what the difference between a finishing powder and a setting powder is, but this has been working for me. If I should be doing something else, please let me know. Now I'm using the Fenty bronzer in the shade Thick Mint, and I'm placing that everywhere that I place my cream bronzer. I'm also going to use this as eyeshadow. I start on the outer corner because that's where I want it to be the darkest, and I work my way in. I use the other side of this brush to pick up some of the product from my lid and use that to contour my nose. Again, I really don't like a super defined nose contour, so that's enough. Now I'm using this blush I got off Amazon from the brand Koki in the shade Sunset. It's orange. Now I'm using this powder puff to lightly press in all the setting spray that I just applied. Now I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible 36-hour fixing spray to lock everything in. I recently started putting mascara on before I put my lashes on because it helps if there's any makeup on my lashes that you can see under the falsies. The mascara gets rid of that. So I apply a thin layer of glue to the lash itself and then a thin layer of glue to my lash line. After you've done that on both sides, maybe wait another like 10 to 15 seconds and it should be dry, and then go ahead and apply. Play around with the hand mirror and find the angle that works best for you. Underneath works best for me. Also, if you're having a hard time doing it this way, try using your fingers instead of tweezers. I've seen it work better for some people that way. It does not work better for me, but it might for you. Wow, we're almost at the end. For our lip combo, we go in with the Fenty Traced Out pencil in the shade I Wouldn't first. Then I got this lip liner from Colourpop in the shade Oh Snap, but I use it to color in my lip because I don't know whose lip that's lining, but it's not mine. Then I top it off with the Milani Keep It Full lip gloss in the shade number 4, Luminoso. And that's our face. This is how we look at the end. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to try to make more makeup content, maybe try some new products. I don't know.